economy teeters and international crises rage, Westminster descended into a bitter gender identity battle royale this week. The new Conservative leader, Kemi, demanding apologies. Prime Minister Keir Starmer refusing to budge. 6 questions wasted on culture war point scoring that left both sides bloodied but unbowed. I'm Ava Watson, and this is the political theater you need to see to believe. Parliament's question time is meant to be where Britain's most pressing issues are debated. This week, however, the opposition decided the nation's top priority wasn't the economy, wasn't international conflicts, wasn't the cost of living crisis, but whether the Prime Minister would apologize for past comments about cervixes and penises.
Can I also associate myself with the remarks about the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis on Easter Monday? Being married to a Catholic, I know the profound loss for millions in Britain and across the world. Mr. Speaker, does the Prime Minister now accept that when he said that it was the law that trans women were women, he was wrong?
Conservative leader Kemi, fresh off personally responding to Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson's statement on the Supreme Court ruling about the definition of woman, decided that wasn't enough. She brought the culture war straight to Prime Minister's questions. For those who haven't been following every twist in Britain's gender debate, last week the UK Supreme Court ruled on the legal definition of woman in a case that has sent shockwaves through both legal and social policy circles. The court sided with what's often called the gender-critical position, essentially supporting biological definitions of sex.
That was the question. But he spoke about respect and dignity and compassion and lowering the temperature. So will he now apologise to the member for Canterbury, the very brave member for Canterbury, for hounding her out of the Labour Party simply for telling the truth?
This ruling was a clear victory for Badenoch's long-held position on sex and gender. But instead of moving on to other pressing national concerns, she used all 6 of her allotted questions at PMQs to demand the Prime Minister publicly recant his previous statements. From the very beginning, it was clear Badenoch was on a mission. Her questions weren't really questions at all, but demands for Starmer to apologize for his previous support of trans rights positions that now contradict the Supreme Court ruling. Starmer, visibly uncomfortable but defiant, refused to acknowledge any contradiction between his past statements and current position. Instead of offering the mea culpa Badenoch was fishing for, he deployed deflection and mild counterattacks.
Anyway, now talking about things that probably shouldn't be said and shouldn't be heard, well, I think that tees up very nicely our beautiful montage of Sir Keir Starmer trying to handle the issue over what makes a woman. Let's roll.
Let's not leave out of account that there is a small minority of individuals who are born in a gender they don't now identify with. Some go through a process, others don't, and that is very traumatic.
And I think if we're able to have that debate in a constructive way, actually we'll be able to come to the consensus. Transgender women's rights are women's rights, and it is our women's movement collectively that can have the solution to that and can work with each other to it.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Well, it is something that shouldn't be said. It is not right.
From the very beginning, it was clear Badenoch was on a mission. Her questions weren't really questions at all, but demands for Starmer to apologize for his previous support of trans rights positions that now contradict the Supreme Court ruling. Starmer, visibly uncomfortable but defiant, refused to acknowledge any contradiction between his past statements and current position. Instead of offering the mea culpa Badenoch was fishing for, he deployed deflection and mild counterattacks. While Britain faces economic crisis, PMQs devolved into culture war theater. Kemi Badenoch demanding apologies for trans rights comments. Starmer refusing to budge. Here's what happened. Badenoch used all 6 questions to demand Starmer apologize for past trans rights statements that now contradict the Supreme Court ruling. Starmer, visibly uncomfortable, refused to acknowledge any contradiction, opting for deflection instead of the apology Badenoch wanted. Starmer's position has clearly shifted from his early pro-trans rights stance to his current position. Most politicians would acknowledge evolving views, but Starmer seems pathologically unable to concede any ground, even when it might help him politically. Meanwhile, inflation continues, global conflicts escalate, and NHS waiting lists grow. Yet for 6 crucial questions, Badenoch chose culture war battles over substantive policy debate. Great for her base, questionable for the public. For Badenoch, the culture war is her worldview. For Starmer, admitting change seems worse than looking inconsistent. And the British public? Left wondering if either leader is focused on what actually matters. What do you think? Comment below and subscribe for more unfiltered political analysis.